Hi everybody. Let me welcome you to this video. I hope to give you some great information. My name is Danielle Hudak and I'm actually a certified diabetes care and education specialist. I have been with patients and treating patients and helping patients for over 15 years. So I am excited to share a little bit via video to help you guys with your nutrition. This can be for people with diabetes, pre-diabetes, and gosh, really anyone that might benefit from some healthy nutrition tips. So people that have diabetes specifically, we want to make sure that we are keeping ourselves as strong as we possibly can. And strong, I mean a strong immune system. We want to make sure that we're healthy enough to be able to move and do the things that we need to do to stay healthy, especially during this time of COVID-19 and trying to be safe and healthy in all aspects. One of the things that we can do, and really one thing that we can control, is our nutrition, what we actually put in our mouth. So let's start there. Let's learn a little bit more about that. Many people think that carbohydrates or sugar or things that turn into sugar are off limits. And saying there are certain good carbohydrates and there are certain not so great carbohydrates, but really carbohydrates are the fuel to our body. So the healthier the carbohydrates we have, the better. I'm not going to go into huge detail about every single carbohydrate and what those are, but I will share a little bit today on maybe the best ways to control how much carbohydrates we put into our body at one time. That is really the big key with diabetes and blood sugar control, is making sure that we're not giving ourselves too many carbohydrates at one meal. So what I'm going to highly suggest is you do eat about 3 times a day, lowering the carbohydrates. I'm not going to give you an exact number. I really do think that you need to speak with a dietitian on this or a diabetes care and education specialist specifically for you and your weight range. Many people try to stay around 30 grams of carbohydrates per meal, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less, like I said, just depending on you. How we can do that, how we can control our carbohydrates, is I love the plate method. I really do believe 6 to 9 inch plate, and you kind of mark it off here. I did on my plate, and half of your plate really should be those vegetables, non-starchy vegetables. So more cooking that you can do at home, the better. We are all home right now, and what a better time to go ahead and do some cooking and making sure that you're getting the nutrition that you need through eating at home. We really want to eat at home more because, well, first of all, it's safer than going to other restaurants and picking up possible, COVID on the actual packaging and having to worry about any of that. So the more cooking you do at home, the better. So non-starchy vegetables, which include all those vegetables you can put on a salad, basically. Be careful, and I'm not saying you can't have them, but just be careful with corn, peas, potatoes. Those are the starchy vegetables that might raise the blood sugar a little bit more. What I'd like for you to do, if you're going to have those vegetables, is actually add it to a fourth of your plate. You can also add any kind of starchy food, so maybe a piece of bread, maybe it's a roll that you're wanting, maybe it's quinoa, something starchy over here that has carbohydrates, and then we're going to have our protein. So we're not going to have a huge amount of protein at each meal. We're just going to have a nice portion size, about the size of the palm of your hand. That is your meal. That's going to be about 15 to 30 grams of carbohydrates. You can add something to that if you want a glass of milk, almond milk, whatever it might be that you want to have, maybe a small piece of fruit, or you can save that for a snack later. So we can have snacks in between. We want to keep those lower carbohydrate snacks. So I'm not going to go into huge detail on label reading, but I do want you guys to know, if you have a label, it does mention what the carbohydrates are. If you can see that, yes, total carbohydrates and the number right here. What you want to also make sure that you see is the serving size. The serving size is super important on a label and will tell you how many carbohydrates per that serving. So let's just talk about fruit real quick. People say, can I have fruit? Yes, you can have fruit. We want to try to only have about 1 to 3 servings of fruit a day. It does have natural sugar in it, which is good for us. Fruit actually has great fiber as well. One of the things I want you to think about when you're eating fresh fruit is, can I fit it in a cup. This is a cup or maybe like a coffee mug. If I can fit it in that, that's about the right size of fruit that I can have a couple times a day. It is best to, have that maybe with a protein, maybe a cheese stick, maybe a handful of nuts, just pairing that with it to kind of balance that out for you. Think about some healthy snacks that you can have that are lower carbohydrate and in a healthy food and a healthy fat. So you could have some guacamole, you could have some salsa, maybe some tortilla chips, about 15 tortilla chips. Try to keep your snacks to about 15 grams of carbohydrates. That's going to keep our blood sugars more stable. Now, this all goes for those of you that maybe take insulin. It all is different, and you're going to want to make sure you're really counting your carbohydrates and that it's the right amount for the amount of insulin that you're taking. So I just want to make sure that you say that too. One thing about fruit, let's think about the banana. Many people eat 1 to 2 of these a day. That's kind of a lot of sugar. So what I would do is maybe eat half of that banana, close it back up, save it for another snack a little bit later in the day, spreading that sugar out throughout the day. Some other things that you can do to sweeten up foods, because some people are like, I need something in my coffee. I need something to sweeten my oatmeal, whatever it might be. I'm really in love with stevia. I like the organic. It's an herb, so it's a little bit healthier and natural. It may take a little bit getting used to, but I really think that you'll enjoy it after you're using it. It's one of the healthiest ones on the market right now. Another thing to season up some foods, because you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to cook. I really don't do much of that. You want to find some seasonings that you can use all the time. So I like the powders, like onion powder, garlic powder. I like cumin. We have chili powder, any kind of powders that, work well. You want to be careful with like the seasonings, like the seasoned salts. They just have a lot of salt in them. So that's another thing that we want to limit. Make sure that our sodium on our foods are a little bit less. Unfortunately, a lot of the processed foods that are in cans, boxes, they might have a little bit too much salt for you. So more natural foods that come from the earth that are less processed, less boxes. That's always a good thing too. So what I'm going to challenge you guys to do is try something new. Maybe it's every day, maybe it's once a week if you really haven't done much with your nutrition. There are so many resources online, healthy recipes. You can even type in low carbohydrate healthy recipes. Those just so many different things that you can have. There's even delivery services of fruits and vegetables that are very, very reasonable. They can deliver to your door if you don't live in a rural area. If you can, try to do some type of grocery delivery where you can pick the foods over the internet. If you have that access, you can look at the labels while you're on there. You've got time right now. So why don't we focus on ourselves and our nutrition? I'm going to leave you with just a couple more things. Many of us are missing some vitamins and minerals in our diet. So what I would highly recommend is to take a multivitamin. If you don't have one, just get one. It really doesn't matter what brand it is. I know there's going to be some posts in this health fair that I'm in right now that can help you supplement some of those areas that you might be missing. So a lot of the foods we have right now and maybe aren't giving us everything that we absolutely need. So I would highly recommend you pick some type of nutritional supplement if you possibly can. Another option is to maybe it's a protein shake or something that you can just get at the store. You can even order it online. Anything that kind of gives you some extra protein and nutrition, lower carbohydrates, maybe that it also is sweetened with stevia. I like the plant proteins just a little bit more, but that is just my forte. So I hope that helps. I'm sure I missed a few things. Just making sure that you all are limiting the amount of added sugar that you have in your diet. That will super helpful. And most things have that on the label. So look at added sugar. Make sure that number's low, 0, 1, 2, 3. So that will be helpful not to spike the blood sugars. So I hope that helps you guys today. And I just hope you guys stay healthy, safe, and strong.